Hello everyone, Shirley here, and welcome to Season 2 of Dragonflight. Got something a little bit different for you today. I don't do much Mythic Plus content, so I kind of wanted to mix things up with the new season. This is a level 20 Uldaman, Legacy of Tier, and we were doing this on the second day of the season. I think I'm item level like 424, 425, about that, when we did this run here. Juicy 600k burst in the opener, you love to see it. But anyway, we're kind of just muddying our way through these dungeons at the moment since, you know, everybody's kind of learning them once again, so we might miss some kicks and stuff along the way, but it's all a good learning process. Since this video is going to be like a half hour long, I'm going to leave in our in-game comms for this one just because I don't think my voice could take narrating for 30 minutes straight right now, but we'll see how it goes. So I'm going to just bop in and out throughout the video and, you know, basically watch along with you guys and provide my thoughts at moments, you know, some narration processes and see how things go. And just talk about whatever, really. Don't worry, though, there's going to be raid content coming up as well, of course, for the new raid that's coming out, or is out this week. We've already cleared most of Heroics, so should have some videos coming up for that, and getting into Mythic soon, of course. But, yeah, as we're working our way to the first boss here, just killing so many Trogs. So many Trogs. And trying to kick spiked Carapace as much as we can. And since it's Storming Week, speaking of which, I'm playing the last season's build still with Cleave and Bladestorm, since we don't have the new tier set quite yet. I am eager to test out, you know, playing with Mortal Strike, you know, for Mythic Plus. Although, a lot of these dungeons this season have a ton of trash still. So, I don't know. I think Cleave could still be pretty good in a lot of situations. There might be some very specific dungeons that you would definitely want the Mortal Strike build and the execute damage, like Halls of Infusion off the top of my head. But there's just so much trash in here that Cleave is just fine. Moving around, avoiding all the swirlies. Brown swirlies on a brown ground. You love to see it. Hopefully I get the audio levels right, too, and it's not too distracting hearing people talk underneath me. I apologize if it's distracting. Almost bit the bullet on that one. So we move into the first boss here. Oh yeah, on the note of the spec right here, since I'm playing, you know, double Bladestorm and everything, which you'll probably still do anyway, even with the new tier set. I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm trying to save, or soak as many of these tornadoes as I can with Bladestorm, since you're immune to the knockback during it. You will take a little bit of damage still, but it's not that big of a deal. So anytime I've got Bladestorm up and there's tornadoes about, I'm just going to go out of my way to eat them. Anyway, Bromach, this guy. We actually skipped the first boss, the Lost Dwarves. To get to this guy's for Bloodlust timing was the idea. Basically, this guy, the only thing that matters is killing his totem at high key levels. So we're just holding all of our cooldowns, everybody is, for this totem that comes out. Because when you kill it, it's going to stun all the Trogs and make them take 200% increased damage for a few seconds. Here it is, the Quaking Totem. And throwing up Ignore, Pain, Spell Reflects, any defensives you got. I don't actually know if it does physical or magic damage, but whatever, you know, free Spell Reflex. But we burn that down as fast as possible with all of our CDs, cleaving down all the Trogs as well. We definitely still want to be, like, passively cleaving all the Trogs, because if you get 2 waves in a row and you fall behind, this fight can get out of hand very quickly because of all the caster Trogs. So it's definitely a boon if your group has, like, ranged interrupts to bring them all in.
Have all 3 of you guys up.
But we're staying on top of it fairly well. Unfortunately, the totem can spawn really far away sometimes. You gotta chase it down.
Oh, Mama Sita.
Here I am, just eating some of those storming tornadoes. And after this point, like, throwing Bladestorms on, like, a ton of mobs isn't, you know, the end of the world. You don't have to save Bladestorm specifically for the totem, because we do need to passively cleave down all the little guys.
You know why? It looks almost like mine, that's why. It's like really similar. We put our frames in the same spot.
Oh yeah, kicking these chain lightning casts as much as we can.
Is that after?
Also, you can reflect those if it's on you, or you notice that the Trog is targeting you.
Well, he doesn't even update it anymore.
There's a lot of stuff you can reflect this season in the new dungeons. Old dungeons, new dungeons, both.
Yeah. I used to use it, then he stopped updating. I was like, never mind, I'm not gonna do this.
Yeah, there's a lot of bosses this season that have like a one-off totem-ish style mechanic that you just have to save all your cooldowns for. This guy, the last boss in Vortex Pinnacle.
You guys already timed a few 20s.
They're both doable at high level. You just have to load up all your CDs and just smoke the thing as soon as it comes out. Even right here, when the boss is at 10%, it's not worth committing. You just go for the totem. So we get dangerously low. Have to use a health potion here.
Alright, I'll leave you guys to it. Good luck.
Love you.
It's my guildmates talking in the background, by the way.
Nice job, nice job. Good healing.
Now we go back for the Lost Vikings.
Damn, I did some damage to Bromac. Good funnel.
Log. Generally, just trying to stay on the range guy for this fight. It's not too much going on, though. Avoiding the cleave and the bow shot. The ricochet, of course. Luckily, there's a circle to telegraph that. Also, I'm not really, like, trying to line up cooldowns for bosses, especially with this build. That might change a little bit once we use the Mortal Strike spec for Mythic Plus with the new tier set.
I guess, like,
but with the Cleave spec, we don't do any single target anyway, so it's better just to burn everything on big trash packs and just keep rotating that as often as possible. And that's how I'm going to be contributing to the party's damage. Leave more of the boss stuff to the other two members.
Yeah, so it might be Swift then.
Huh, they did fix the spot. And just didn't tell anybody about it.
Yeah, now it's a little fucky.
Jump over the lava.
Arrow's gonna shoot kind of up the hill, okay? Arrow's weird.
Down below now.
Yeah, careful now, because Skull is cleave. Skull is cleave. Sorry, since we have I had to move over here, it's a little cramped.
Fortunately, you don't really get to execute this boss either.
Go over to him.
Be a nice sweeping strikes execute boss, but they all leave at 10%, 15%. I don't remember exactly.
Obama.
You don't have to kill them even, but if you don't, then one of them or two of them are just gonna barrage you the whole time.
Because you got Battle Shot on the Feral Druid that cleaves these motherfuckers.
Big damn.
That's right, insane warrior.
True.
Yeah, crazy. That we killed that so fast. Oh my god, that's easily 30 seconds faster.
The runbacks in some of these dungeons are insane, though.
Right, careful on aggro
When
here.
you die, the checkpoints are just really few and far between. I don't know. I
30 seconds?
realize Blizzard doesn't want you just teleporting through the dungeon, but I kind of hope they at least update a few of these. Some of the runbacks are pretty rough. Not that we've died yet in here, but
I can like feel the shield.
big
So
spins.
nice.
A lot of times you'll notice too, if it's a really big group or we don't have a lot of other
I don't need
CDs, then I'll
stuns.
burn both Blade Storms off of the Avatar proc, you know. But a lot of times I'll just stagger them and cycle them. You'll go
Bro, I'm not
like
even taking
big
damage.
cooldowns with Warbreaker and Thunderous Roar with the Avatar Blade Storm, and then just hold the normal Blade Storm for the next pack and just cycle that with the next Warbreaker when it comes up in 30 seconds-ish. Just to keep as much of that Merciless Bone Grinder buff, you know, rolling as you can between packs.
First second quarter works.
On to the Sethraliss boss. See some people in, like, pugs run away with these orbs. You don't really need to. So we gotta run the boss into them. That and not do them all back-to-back, like I've seen some people do too. Or we're saving the third one here for his cast. the empowerment there. You can stun that. I don't remember what it's called, but he also does a debuff in this one that I'm pretty sure you can reflect. When in doubt, just spell reflect all the damn time anytime you see something, and you'll learn along the way. It's basically what I do in M+.
Are you strong outside of cooldown, Shirley?
It's in like single target build, yeah, but not really in this one.
How about you, CP?
Fucking terrible.
Oh, God.
It makes it
Actually,
feel
I
better,
might-
but
Might line up with Shirley.
I have CDR, so like I have some damage every like 30 seconds.
my shit's about to up here.
I'm just looking at your ascendant or your what's it called? Armed is better in single target than Feral.
Yeah, it is.
So I'll just send on him.
It would be in raid spec.
And the TD
Not in this
that is
spec,
getting
though.
absolutely annihilated. Like, we'll see, man.
See, I don't even have Massacre talented right now, so
need-
execute damage is pretty pathetic. The update to our bleed talent, though, this season was really nice.
I don't have an orb.
God, Bloodletting? Is that what it's called? I can't remember off the top of my head. The one that makes Mortal Strike apply Ren now automatically when the target's below 35%. That's pretty nice. It definitely makes the execute phase a lot more fluid. It's awkward. You can worry more about stacking up fat Testamite buffs on raid bosses rather than
Stop choosing me, please.
reapplying Rens and, you know, wasting rage on Ren,
Buff
basically.
Also means the knockback. Good to know.
Feels very nice.
Tyrannical is so boring. There's just too much health on some of these
So,
bosses.
lads.
I mean, granted, we don't have the gear at the moment. It'll be a lot quicker later, but still.
Take it.
The boss difficulty just seems all over the place this season.
Big agree. Careful for frontals. I'm marked skull.
Yeah, to touch on that note, what I just said there,
Let's try to get him in so we
boss
can stop
difficulty
heals.
is crazy. Like the second boss in here with the totem, if your entire party isn't on the spot on that, like your key is dead, you know, right there, right off the rip, whereas some of these bosses are just a joke compared to it, you know, spread out,
The releases or the
heal
ball
occasionally,
machine is
a
right there,
knockback,
right?
stun the boss, like, really, really simple. I suppose the totem boss is simple too, it's just the tuning is way out of whack for it. And if you're following along, let me know if you guys
kinda
like
wait
to
for
see
the
more
chain until the
content
car's a
like
little
this, Mythic
closer.
Plus. Maybe I can condense this down
Steps away.
a bit, skip some of the trash, unless it's relevant. I don't know, actually edit it a bit more and just commentate. I don't know. I'm not super, like, into high keys.
Any
I've done them before,
frontals?
but it's not my forte. I much prefer raiding and PvP. You only got so much time, you know? But I do like, you know, early season pushing like this. It's fun. So I'm not opposed to doing more M+ stuff. My problem with it
This
is
pack is going to.
I don't
fuck
know
with
exactly
super
what
spooky.
to to compensate for, like, these runs. They're just so long, and it's, you know, a lot of the
Go
trash
by
does
all
the
means.
exact same stuff.
Pillars line, right?
As we find out here, this runic protector on his earthquake, the pillars do not count as line of sight, but you can go back the way we came down that hallway around the corner there and line of sight that,
And
that
mine
earthquake
cast.
cast.
It's fun.
Especially on like bolstering weeks, maybe that'll be a play, and just LOS that every time, depending on how much damage it ramps up
Maybe
to.
there'll be more forbidden tech, but we'll do it.
Because even here on Tyrannical, it's junking pretty good. Over the spider room. This room you want to stack up because they jump around. Like so. I'm just holding my dragon, or my Thunderous Roar for a little bit till I had Warbreaker back. Oh yeah, I totally spaced it off. I finally downloaded the GCD tracker. God, what's it called? TrueFi or something. You could see down in the lower left there. I haven't messed with it at all. It's just on the default settings, which I realize is a little bit buggy at times. It seems to like double up executes for some reason when you're only pressing it once, but it's there for the people that want to see it, so hopefully it helps.
I'm gonna move a little
On to
bit further,
Emberon.
just a little bit further away from
This
the
boss
corner.
is actually kind of scary. It does a lot of damage at least. Spreading out with these. Don't really need to run away. In fact, with our Evoker healer, it's probably better that we stay kind of loosely grouped up so we can heal easier. And other than that, just don't get hit by the Cheeto balls flying across the room.
2 seconds remedy.
So we watch our priest off to the left here.
Phasing now.
And he's dead.
We don't have double res.
So 2 of our party go down here, right during intermission. We only have 1 B-res.
I guess
No, we just rotate clockwise around the room, avoiding the laser of doom. Speaking of which, I don't know if it was just me or what, but this laser, for whatever reason, a couple of times I've been in here, the other half, like it's on 2 sides, one of them just doesn't show up. There's no visual for it, and I've heroically leaped across it thinking it was clear before. So, yeah, just try to at least look at the one side and then, 180 across from it. It'll line up. In case that bug persists, at least. Fortunately, we gotta go around. Except for our tank with the hero play is just gonna bubble and go through it.
I'm pretty sure it's worth for me to do that and go kill this. It's gonna take way too long otherwise.
We definitely want to pull this boss kind of in between the constructs too that are spitting out the fireballs. If your tank is keeping it too close, they can just... You're constantly moving too much because they spawn too close to you. It's much better to be kind of in the between here like this. Gives you more time to react.
Watch balls.
And obviously don't stand in front of the boss for the frontal
Running
cleave.
intermission here. Start on this one by me, Skull. Maybe we probably don't kill it actually.
Trying to get as many bleeds on it as we can.
Oh my god.
It's kind of like a Frogger boss now that I think about it, at least during intermission. In case anybody was wondering, I've got some hot Earl Grey tea that I'm sipping on during this. And everybody bounces off and leaves the tail end to execute damage for me on these. So we ain't gonna grab that one.
Unfortunately, do not have bubble this time.
We're doing the long run. I have to wait anyway.
That's so tragic.
Oh, it's like no health. Oh my god. Kill it.
Normally, I'd probably hold cooldowns at 20% like this for the next, AoE trash pack. But since we're down a player here, I wanted to go ahead and send it, just to make sure that we kill the boss. It is tyrannical after all.
launch.
And we lost another player.
We can still do this.
It's fine.
Did you really wish I had Juggernaut or Executioner's Precision right now?
Nice job.
Clean.
No. Oh, okay. He was channeling res.
Look at all of this stuff. The heroes. You can keep searching for whatever it is.
Do we have Sweepy?
Yeah.
We're calling dibs on this room. Same travels all.
I always think the dungeon's like over after that boss for some reason. There's definitely a lot more trash still. A lot more trash before we get to the final boss.
I guess since it's so early, time really isn't a factor.
Speaking of dungeons and the pool and stuff, I picked up an Iridius fragment during this day. I was using in this run. Pretty good for this build. It'll be less good with the Mortal Strike build because it decays so fast on ability usage.
Take a breath, focus up.
But if you do end up picking up that trinket, it's pretty good with this build just because it decays the strength buff based on casts. And it's not impacted while you're blade storming, so you can maintain it a little bit longer during the double blade storm cast. But otherwise, you're going to want the trinket from the Underrot. Can't remember what it's called off the top of my head, but it does the same thing. It just gives you strength on a 1.5-minute cooldown, whereas the fragment's on a 3-minute cooldown, so definitely going to want the Underrot trinket for M+ options anyway.
Watch cleaves, they're on Skull.
Getting out of that shield there. Big Guardian does a frontal too.
I'm gonna run through on this tier. Oh. Slam and then tier.
During like these 3-target cleave situations, it's really nice with the MS change that applies Rend Auto
so
as well, because we can just focus on Mortal Strikes and Executes.
I called that based off
targets.
when it told me tier was off CD, and then it cast Bulwark Slam, and then tier went back on cooldown, so I don't know.
Very good.
Yep.
So right here I opted just to use the Warbreaker and Sweeping Strike since there's only 2 targets. Save our cooldowns for a bigger pack. Because we still do good 2-target cleave at the end of the day. Oh yeah, and your spec, Impending Victory and Ignore Pain are so useful right now, at least early in the season. Like, you're going to be spamming that stuff even when you don't need to, just because there's so much damage going out in some of these dungeons. That's where we're going to burn our CDs. A couple of these dungeons I wish I had Wrecking Throw into, because there's some absorb shields, but not a huge deal. My spec didn't have it at the moment. Would have been nice, though.
Yeah, same thing. Weird. When I cast that Bulwark Slam, it tier gets... the CD gets weird.
Kicking these hasten casts. One of these guys I thought put a bleed up on the tank that was pretty dangerous. Maybe it wasn't this pack. Can't remember. Regardless, though, the theoretical bleed I'm talking about, you could Stormbolt. Because you couldn't interrupt it normally. It's getting pretty late, too, at the end of this run. You can definitely tell the energy levels have went down. Too much Mythic Plus in one day. Bunch of whelps. Don't really need to Blade Storm these, but, you know, free pet, so. That and warrior cooldowns are up very quickly, so it doesn't really matter.
Then we'll do the start. So you can do some prep.
Oh yeah, these stacks that come off these guys, that debuff that was stacking up there, you can cleanse it with MD at least. You can also line of sight it. You can see it stacking up there with a little hourglass. So if it's getting, I don't know, 6-ish stacks or whatever, your party's struggling, you can just run back around that corner in the hallway and it'll fall off before it restacks.
So like now? Yeah.
Well, this is double, so it won't line up at all for the double.
Right. Oh, gotcha.
But the singles, I think it's either 6 or 7 stacks. I can MD and then get back to 6 stacks and MD again.
So you don't have MD here, yeah?
Correct. 5 seconds.
Oh no, we went over % by 1 mob. No idea if we could have skipped something earlier. And on to the last boss. This guy's pretty spooky too, actually.
Okay, so first ones are dropping at X, and then you're gonna get knocked into like triangle.
Give me 10 seconds. Oh, okay.
Sorry, I'd already thrown a hammer by the time you said that.
Burn our CDs on pull here. We're trying to stack up on this side of the room to save space. So these pools are random, but they are baited a bit on players. Try to tuck back in here.
Whatever's best with you.
Because by the end of the boss on Tyrannical, at least, this whole room is just full of this.
Wing buffet down the wall further. So yeah.
I'm gonna drop down here.
Waiting this and the knockback.
Oh, no.
That's a spooky knockback, 288k. Lost 2 of our players again.
Both?
And this is why Ignore Pain on cooldown is so useful.
How do we...
And during the intermission rewinds, we're going to be soaking up as much of these pools as we can. I'm trying to still stay in melee range, because it gives you a big haste buff. And this boss has a lot of health. But it is important to still soak those.
Late in the first set.
We rotate
so
around the
get
room
on, like,
here.
The platform
As a
after
warrior,
these
don't
next
be afraid
ones.
of putting yourself in a bad position on this fight, like tucking it into a corner, just surrounded. You can just use Heroic Leap to get out of it when they get too big, as long as you're in melee range still, of course. Or as much as possible, I should say. Sometimes it's just really
Do we
bad.
think we can kill the person down?
70%, we got this.
We haven't committed lust yet.
Well, that's why I'm asking. Like, are we committing less stuff?
Yeah,
9 minutes?
On B rates,
A minute.
1 minute.
So, yeah. When we come out of here, we send... Oh, send Lust on your in Sweet Peas and Kern, probably, yeah?
Main turn coming up. I'll wait for the next one.
Well, we don't need it in the intermission, because that's going to overcut haste anyway.
Basically
Try to get
hitting
more here.
pending victory after every one of those knockbacks, too. Just
I'll
trying to help
I'll take
out our
this
heroes
breath
as much
kind
as
of in
possible.
between you guys, and then after, if you guys want to group up, so I have breath here, care. Okay, now you guys can group up on the wall. 30 seconds to Bureau's him as well.
I'm dropping the thing. Watch out. Wait, Incarn coming up?
Our frontal.
Hero.
Is our bloodlust here?
Try to finish off these smallies.
Doubling
14
up with
seconds
the
on the
haste buff here.
heroes.
Unfortunately, with no cooldowns, it's not super useful. Almost makes you wish you could respec still in the middle of a Mythic Plus to single target, like raid spec.
It'll have to be Sweet Pea that does it. don't think he has the runic power for it. Oh, never mind.
But we're doing all right, all things considered.
Very good.
Possibly in trouble.
Burnt my health potion there. Running out of defensives.
My timers are off. When's
Or
the
heals, at least.
reverse?
Still got parry and rally.
15.
Okay, I'm gonna innervate you come this intermission guts.
This is a really shit situation to get into in the corner here. I'm just waiting for that to drop.
Oh, here we go.
And this is where, if we weren't working our way around the room like we have been, the whole room would just be full at this point. So you really got to manage your space. You can actually walk across these pools too. Like, they hurt, but it's not too bad. You really need to get out of the way as long as, you know, you got above 50% health, you can do it. That and Heroic Leap's your friend.
Hopefully you can. Sorry, I know that's a bit of a move. I just can't stand anywhere else.
Yeah, I mean, we're just trapped here too, so don't worry. You're fine.
Mission.
We got this now.
Yep.
Big
Really good job,
intermission.
guys.
We were like out of
Still
room.
play well here. Watch your health.
Play defensive.
Down goes Chrono Lord Dios.
Great
Dios,
job,
whatever the
guys.
hell his
Nice
name
job.
is. 121k, I'll take it.
We have turned.
Still
no
timed
loot
it.
on SMH.
No loot. Sag. Anyway, thanks for watching if you made it this far. I'll be back soon with more content. It's going to be some raid stuff for sure coming up in Aberrus. But yeah, till then, I'll see you next time. Peace.